You are watching Eswatini TV. Sibuko seMaswati.
A very good afternoon, Eswatini, and welcome to your favorite teleeducation program, Home Study. My name is Lerato Mabilisa, and also joining me in the studio is my co-host Nogwazi Dlamini and the sign language interpreter Nompumelelo Hatebe. A very good afternoon, Nogwazi.
A very good afternoon, Lerato, and of course a very good afternoon to our viewers back at home. It's a beautiful Thursday. It's a sunny Thursday for the first time in the past 2 weeks, I think. So today must be really a beautiful day for everyone. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic as always, and I'm enjoying the weather.
Yes, of course we are. It's a beautiful sunny Thursday afternoon. So this is what your day looks like today. From 2 p.m. until 2:30 p.m. we have the grade 0 lesson. From 2:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. we have English language for the grades 1 and 2. From 3 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. we have mathematics for grades 3 and 4. From 3:30 p.m. until 4 p.m. we have science for Form 1 and 2. From 4 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. we have English language for the Form 4s. And the last subject for the day from 4:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. is physics for the Form 4s.
Do not forget, dear viewer, that we also have social media platforms, which are YouTube and Facebook, where we are live from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. And please do not forget to click that subscribe button so that whenever we are live, you get a notification.
Yes, of course. And also do not forget about our WhatsApp number that you can use to ask any questions that during that lesson, of course. Sorry about that. Now, without wasting any time, up next with Lerato and the grade 0 teacher is the grade 0 lesson. We will be right back after this.
Ever since I was a young girl, I always dreamed of playing golf. I swung and swung and swung until I realized my dream of becoming a professional golfer.
The season so far has belonged to Nobuhle Dlamini.
With a 5th ranking at the Sunshine Tour Order of Merit, a win in the Joburg Ladies Open and many other achievements under her name, Nobuhle Dlamini, the ladies golf champion, is part of the Supersport Let's Play family.
The hours I spent practicing my golf swing and being physically active ensured that I was mentally sharp for my school books and the golf course. Now more than ever, as we stay away from school and stay indoors, keeping fit and exercise has become critical to maintain a healthy mind and body. Remember to stay safe and play it safe. I'm Nobuhle Dlamini and I'm proud to be part of the Supersport Let's Play family.
Emaphoyisa neseve lolu hlelo lwakho lokuchama khona embuthweni wembobe lolifundisa kabanzi liphinde lixwayise sona phela seve ngathi indzaba tevikela bona kuqala.
Thokotela uhlelo lwakho emaphoyisa nesive kuso sikhathi lesisha njalo ngabo lesine ngensimbi yesihlanu sihambama khona la Eswatini TV.
Welcome, grade 0s. This is the first lesson for today, and you are learning animals part 2 with teacher Kosi Simelane. My name is Lerato Mabilisa, and also joining me in the studio is the sign language interpreter Nomcebo Dlamini. A very good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, Lerato. How are you?
I'm alright. How are you today?
I'm good today. Thanks.
I'm alright. So today's topic is animals part 2.
Yes, we are learning about animals today.
Okay. What would you expect the viewer to have learned by the end of this lesson?
By the end of this lesson, I expect the viewers to be able to identify animals that we'll be reading about in the story, and also know the shape of the wig.
Okay, without wasting any time, please begin your lesson.
Thank you, Lerato.
Okay.
Welcome back, learners at home. My name is teacher Kosi Simelane, as it's been said. Welcome to our lesson. I hope you'll enjoy the lesson today. I am also excited about today's lesson. Before we continue with our lesson, let us start by saying the days of the week. We are going to sing our song about the days of the week. There is Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Wow, you are singing very beautifully. Thank you so much for singing with me today. And I am so happy that you have now mastered the Days of the Week song and you love it so much. Thank you so much. Before we continue, I'd like us to do the months of the year. We are going to say the months of the year. We are not going to sing the months of the year, but we are going to say the months of the year together with me. Okay, let us start. The January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Thank you so much for saying the months of the year with me. By the way, do you know how many months of the year do we have? Yes, we have 12 months in a year. I know some of you are saying we don't know the day today. Yes, I will tell you the day today. It is a Thursday. Today is a Thursday. So here with me, I have this card here. It tells us that today it is a Thursday. So you're going to say with me, today is Thursday. And we have said the months of the year. Do you know what month are we in? We are in the month of October. We are in the month of October and today it is a Thursday. Let us quickly go to the weather. I know you want to know how is the weather where I am. And I'm also excited to tell you how is the weather today where I am. So as you're looking outside, looking how is the weather where you are, now let us sing the song. How is the weather? How is the weather? How is the weather today? How is the weather? How is the weather? How is the weather today? Wow, very good. I think you have seen how is the weather where you are and you are just so much excited to know how is the weather where I am. Where I am today, it is a sunny day. Remember, we're experiencing lots of rain in the past days, but today it is sunny. The sun is up and shining. It is warm and it is a very exciting day. So I will tell you that it is sunny, it is sunny, it is sunny today. It is sunny, it is sunny, it is sunny today. Yes, today it is a sunny day. So I'm going to put this card here that shows us today it is a sunny day. I know some of you maybe they are not having such a sunny day, but with us here we are having a very beautiful day. It is a sunny day. So let us move on to the shape of the week. Do you still remember the shape of the week? Yes, the shape of the week is a triangle. This week we are talking about a triangle, and we said a triangle has 3 sides. Let us count the sides of this triangle. 1, 2, 3. Yes, this triangle has 3 sides. And I think you still remember we had some shapes that we spoke about in the past few weeks. We spoke about, let us remember and quickly go to our bank and see what we're going to find. Yes, we have found a circle, a square, and today I have added a triangle. Thank you so much for listening. And now let us quickly move on to the color of the week. Do you still remember the color of the week? Yes, someone says the color of the week is yellow. Very good. The color of the week is color yellow. Last time there are many things that you talked about that are in color yellow. Do you still remember them? You talked about bananas, mangoes. Yes, they are in color yellow. But today I'm going to show you pictures here of things that are also in color yellow. So you're going to tell me what is on the picture and what color is it. Okay, here we are. We've got this picture, and what is in this picture? Yes, this is an umbrella. And what color is the umbrella? It is yellow in color. The umbrella is yellow, which means you can also find a yellow umbrella. Okay, and here what do we have? We have the sun. Yes, the sun is happy and it is in color yellow. So the sun is yellow, the umbrella is yellow. I also have this card here. And what does it show? A cup. Yes, and the color of the cup is yellow. So there are many other things that are in color yellow, like the triangle up there. It is also yellow in color. Someone is saying they have yellow t-shirts. Yes, you might have a yellow t-shirt. Let us remind ourselves of the other colors that we learned about. The color of the circle is blue. The color of the square is red. And today we are having color yellow. So let us move on to the letter of the week. Do you still remember the letter of the week? Yes, someone is saying it is letter. Do we say it's letter? No, it is the letter H. And it has the sound when you... There are words that when you say, they make the sound at the beginning, and then that is the sound for letter H. Now I'm going to show you things with the words that when you say them, they make the sound at the beginning, and they begin with the letter H. You're going to tell me what is in this picture. Yes, we can say this is a house. When you say the word house, you hear the sound at the beginning, and house begins with the letter H. Now we have this one here. What is it? Yes, this is honey. When you say the word honey, it begins, you hear the sound at the beginning, which is the sound for letter H. And when you say the word honey, it begins with letter H and makes the sound at the beginning. When you look at this last picture here, what do you see? Yes, someone is saying a baby is laughing. Yes, the baby is showing a happy face. When you say the word happy, you can hear the sound at the beginning, and then happy begins with the letter H. So the letter of the week is letter H, and the sound is. Now let us quickly move on to the number of the week. Do you still remember the number of the week? Yes, the number of the week, it is number 6. It is number 6. There are many things that we can count up to number 6. So we are going to count many things. You are going to help me count and tell me how many are here. Here with me, I've got these circles. I'd like you to help me count the circles, how many they are. I don't know how many circles I have, but you will help me count, and then we will know how many circles I have. Let us start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there are 6 circles, but these circles are not the same. I have 3 circles that are white and 3 circles that are blue. When we count all these circles together, they give us how many circles? 6 circles. Let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, when you have 3 white circles and 3 blue circles, when you count all of them together, they give you the number 6. Okay, now let us continue and count. I'd like us to count these crayons here. How many crayons I have here, I don't know, but then you're going to help me count and we'll see how many crayons do I have. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, even the crayons are 6. Okay, but the crayons, they are so much different. They are not the same. I have red crayons and blue crayons, but all of these crayons, they are 6 in number. Now let us count how many red crayons do we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we have 4 red crayons. And how many blue crayons do we have? 1, 2. We have 2 blue crayons and 4 red crayons. When we count all of these crayons, what number do we get? Let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the crayons, they are 6. Okay, let us count again. I think I will count for the last time now. We are going to count these sticks. How many sticks are here? I don't know. So you're going to help me count the sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, even these sticks are 6. When we look at the sticks, we've got yellow sticks and a blue one. How many yellow sticks do we have? Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 yellow sticks and only 1 blue sticks. But when you count all these sticks together, we get the number 6. So the number of the week, it is number 6. Thank you so much for listening. And now we are moving on to the lesson of today. We are done with counting. Today's lesson is still on animals. I know you remember last time you mentioned so many animals like the lions. You also talked about the hippopotamus, the horses, the pigs. There were so many animals that you were talking about. Today I'm going to read you a story, and the story is about animals. The story is about animals. Before we read the story, I'd like you to circle down and listen carefully to the story. So I will be reading the story from my book here, and you'll be listening there at home. As you are listening to the story, there is a song that we always sing when we listen to the story. Say, we listen to the story, we listen to the story, listen to the story as children likes to do. We cross our legs like this and fold our arms like this. Then we listen to the story as children likes to do. Yes, I think someone is so much excited about today's story. So today's story is about Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark. Noah was a very, very good man. He obeyed God in everything, and God chose him as his special friend. There were other people on earth, but those people, they were not listening to God. They did not listen to what God was telling them. But Noah listened, and he even taught his children to listen to God. So one day, Noah, when you look at the story, he's wearing his red coat. One day, God told Noah that rain is coming. It was going to rain and rain and rain. And he said to Noah, because the rain is coming and it's going to cover the whole world, you have to build a big, big ark. And now Noah is so much excited. He's sharing the plan of God with his children here, as we can see in the story. We can see Noah is sharing the plan of God with his children. He's telling them that God has told him to build a very big ark because there is rain coming. But Noah didn't end by telling only his children. He also told the other people to build an ark, but they did not listen. So Noah and his children, they began to build the ark. They used the saw here, as we can see, to cut the woods, and they started to build the ark. And everyone in Noah's family was working very hard towards the building of the ark. Even Mrs. Noah, as you can see here, she is bringing them food to eat as they are working on the ark. Then they built the ark, but one day the Noah's ark was finished. It was a very, very beautiful ark, As you can see in the picture here, this is Noah's Ark. It is beautiful. It is big. And Noah is so happy that he had listened to God and built this ark. Then there were animals that were coming out of the woods. As you can see the woods here, the animals were coming out of the woods towards Noah's Ark. You can see 2 lions. The lions are jumping and roaring. There are 2 snakes. There are 2 ducks. There are 2 kangaroos. There are 2 rabbits. Everything, every animal that was coming towards Noah, there were 2. And Noah and his children were so excited about this animal parade because the lions were not so dangerous that day. Even the elephants, they were not dangerous that day. Every animal was happy. Even Noah was happy as they all went into the ark. Then the rain began. It rained after day after day. It was raining and pouring down. Now the whole world was covered with water, but Noah's Ark was just floating on top of the water, and the angels of the Lord, as you can see there, the angels of God were watching over Noah's Ark. Everyone was inside, but the other people that did not build an ark were drowning in the water. Inside the ark, it was a happy scene. Everybody was happy. The animals were having food. As you can see, there are ducks here. The ducks, they have grain to feed on. The cows, they have hay to feed on. So the cows are eating, the horses are eating. Even Noah and his family, they're having food and they're all happy and safe inside the boat. The angel of the Lord was still watching over them. Then the rain stopped. It was no longer raining. Now the animals were coming out of the boat, of the ark, and Noah and his family, they were all happy that the rain has stopped. And they were looking around. They see nothing but the dry land. The rain has stopped. Even the trees, they could see some flowers. They could see the sky. Everything was normal. Even the birds started to fly away. Then they started to thank God. Noah and his family, they prayed to God, thanking him for keeping them safe. When they look up in the sky, as you can see, they saw a beautiful rainbow. They saw a very, very beautiful rainbow. And that was the promise of God, that he will never cover the earth with water. And Noah and his family, they sing praises and they pray to God because God has kept them safe. And Noah was happy because he had listened to God. That is the end of our story. Thank you so much, boys and girls, for listening to my story. And I hope you have learned that if you obey God and you listen, you're always going to be safe. Like the animals and Noah, they were safe in Noah's Ark. They didn't drown in the floods when the rain was coming down. Thank you so much for listening. That is the end of our story.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was a very interesting story, and we learned that we should listen to God today.
Yes, that was the purpose of the story. Thank you so much, Loretta.
Okay, I'm hoping you're going to come again next time and give us another interesting lesson as this one.
Yes, we will come again. Thank
Okay.
you.
Grade 1s and 2s, get closer to your screen because your English language teacher, Ngobile Vilagati, will be back after this infomercial.
Eswatini, your favorite show, is back. The Spotlight Season 2 returns with an exciting new twist. We are taking the kingdom's #1 music talent search digital. One lucky winner will drive away in a brand new Kia Picanto, get a recording deal, and walk away with fantastic prizes, including a trendy Huawei P40 Pro. This year, the application process has been made better, easier, and brighter. To apply, simply follow the application process on the Spotlight and MTN Eswatini social media platforms. And remember to download the Ayoba and Music Time apps on your mobile device to complete your registration into the Spotlight Season 2. Visit yellowhub.co.sz/the spotlight/apply. The audition dates are as follows. Manzini, 26th September to the 1st of October. Shiselweni, the 3rd to the 8th of October. Hoho, 10th to the 15th of October. Lubombo, 17th to the 22nd of October. Shine bright like the star that you are on the Spotlight Season 2.
With the change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show, and Dinzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Dinzaba or KPS. And while you at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Are you ready for the next boomtastic Boomerang Africa tunes? Go to www.boomerangafrica.com and come and sing along. But don't forget your dancing shoes, or you and your friends will miss the fun.
Ready to keep singing and dancing on Boomerang?
Buhle bethu imvelo yethu. Buhle bethu tindzawo tethu. Indalo yashada nemasiko kuhle kwethu. Kuvakasha kwethula umthwalo emahlombe ethu. Hloma ngwane vuka uvakashe indlela uyikhombe etindzaweni tethu. Temvelo nembukiso ungcebeleke uthathe netithombe. Lalela ke nangu sonkondlo waseswatini akutekela ayibeka indzaba ayihlela kuhle kwelijaha lishela ngiyakutshela diningi tindzawo longativakashela hloma ngwane vuka uvakashela phana lapha kuvakasha kuyayelapha enhlitiyo kanye nemqondo kuyawuphumuda kugcinisa buhlobo nebungane losebundenga ndenga with a trip to Mantenga Falls or a sip among friends of Sibebe Brew on Sibebe Mountain, or perhaps your cup of tea is backpacking and horse riding, sightseeing the seamless streams and springs that stream across the gorgeous valleys of the mountainous kingdoms of Eswatini. We have you covered. Hloma ngwane, vuka uvakashe. Buhle bethu yimvelo yethu. Buhle bethu ngabuthola nasebantwini bethu.
Did you think about what I said?
I did, and I've made my decision. I'm not going to wait for the courts to return my son to me. I'm going to go get him.
Ow, it hurts! Hey, I haven't even touched you yet. Stop being a baby. Kandimba! Get back here! Kandimba! Kandimba! Where are you?
What's with that face? You don't feel well? How did your interview go? Bad. Really bad. Well, I'd like to have a cup of coffee, please.
Because I want to help you out, I
Your
really
father
can't.
won't let you.
It's just that at this time, the sales of the store don't justify hiring another person, Auntie.
But if that's the issue, I could work on commission, Sarah. I already proved to you I'm a good
Look,
salesperson.
I'm really sorry, but jobs don't just pop up because people need them.
Maybe you should find someone who feels as lonely as you do. Someone who knows how to spoil you and likes it.
Welcome grade 1s and 2s. This is the second subject for today and you are learning English language with teacher Nobile Vilagati. My name is Lirato Mabilisa and also joining me in the studio is the sign language interpreter Nompumelelo Hatebe. A very good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, Lerato. How are you?
I'm alright. How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm good too. So today's topic is I like myself.
Yes.
What would you expect the viewer to have learned by the end of this lesson?
I'm expecting the learners to be able to read and also to list the uses of body parts.
Okay, without wasting any time, please begin your lesson.
Thank you, Lerato. Good afternoon, my grade 1s and 2s. I am teacher Nobile, for those who do not know me, and I'm glad to be back again for our fourth lesson. Our topic is I like myself. So, dear learners, this is what you are expected to do by the end of the lesson. You should be able to read a story and also list the uses of body parts. Dear learners, let us have a recap of our previous lesson. Our previous lesson was based on parts of my body. Now, dear learners, I want us to name some of the body parts. Let's begin. This is a hand. This is a head. I mean to say a face, dear Lena. This is a foot. Now, dear Lena, let us look at the days of the week. How many days do we have in a week? We have 7 days in a week. Now I want us to name the days of the week. Let's start. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's start again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Today it's our fourth day, dear Lena. So it means it is a Thursday. It is a Thursday. Now we are going to learn how to handle a book. Here, dear learner, we are going to learn how to handle a book. I have this book with me. How do we handle a book properly, dear learner? Is this the way?
No.
No, it is not. So how do we handle the book? We have to face it upwards. Make sure that the book is facing upwards. And because I am showing you, the book is facing towards you. But when you are reading, the book is facing towards you, dear learners. But when you are reading, it has to be like this. Now, we also start by reading the topic. For example, here I have this word. So you start with the topic. Now, we also read from left to right and also point at the word we are reading, dear learners. So now I want us to look at this picture. Here we have a book, and around the book we can see some children. They are happy, very happy. Even the book is smiling. Why is it so? It's because the children like reading. Now I want us to say this rhyme. Let us start. I am a book.
I am a book.
I love myself.
I love myself.
This is my face.
This is my face.
Smooth and shiny.
Smooth and shiny.
When you handle me.
When you handle me.
Handle me with care.
Handle me with care.
When you open me.
When you open me.
Open me gently.
Open me gently.
Smelly dirty hands.
Smelly dirty hands.
Tear my heart apart.
Tear my heart apart.
Wet slimy hands.
Wet slimy hands.
Give me a headache.
Give me a headache.
Take good care of me.
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 Love me, love me.
Love me, love me.
I am a book.
I am a book.
Now, dear learners, we can see that the book was telling us how to handle it. It says we have to have clean hands all the time whenever we are handling a book, and also make sure that our hands are dry, they are not wet. Why is it so? Because the book will be spoiled if we touch it with dirty, wet hands. So, dear learners, as I have mentioned that we are going to talk about myself, let us get into our lesson for today. I mean to say I like myself, dear learners. Let us look at this picture. What do you see? We can see a picture of a boy, and the boy seemed happy. He is also pointing at himself. Now we can also see big, bold words, and they are telling us something. These bold words are the topic. They are the topic. So we can also see words underneath the boy's picture. They are telling us what the picture is saying. This boy, my dear friends, is Lindo. So, dear learners, as I have mentioned earlier, whenever we are reading, we start from the left to the right. Now, let us read our topic. I like myself. Let's say it. I like myself. Now, let us find out what Lindo is saying unto us. I like my body. Let's read again. I like my body. So, Lindo likes his body. Do you like your body, dear learners? I like my body too. Now let's move on to the second picture. Wow, what do you see, dear learners? We can now see Lindo lying on a mat. There are books around him. All of the books are closed except for one book. Where is that book? It is in front of him, and we can see that he is looking at the book. What is he doing? Can you guess? Lindo is reading, my dear friend. He is reading a book. What is he saying now? Let's read. I have 2 eyes. I have 2 eyes. I read with my 2 eyes. I read with my 2 eyes. So we can see that Lindo can read with his 2 eyes. Can you also read with your 2 eyes, dear learners? I hope so. Now let's move on. What do we see? We see Lindo lying on a couch. He seemed to be enjoying himself, and he seemed to be smelling something nice from the kitchen. Look, Mommy is cooking in the kitchen, and we can see this wave moving from Lindo to the kitchen, which means Lindo can smell something. Now let us read what Lindo is saying. I can smell. I can smell. I can smell with my nose. I can smell with my nose. So Lindo can smell with his nose. I also hope you can smell with your nose, dear learners. We can smell different kinds of smell, such as good and bad smell. Like here in our picture, we can tell that Lindo can smell a good smell. Let's move on. Dear learners, what do you see in this picture? We can see 4 people sitting around a table. What are they doing? Just look. They seem to be doing a lot of things. I can see someone is talking. The other one is eating. Now let us read what Lindo is saying. I talk with my mouth. I talk with my mouth. I also eat with my mouth. I also eat with my mouth. So Lindo is telling us that he can talk and also eat with his mouth. What else can you do with your mouth, dear Elena? You can sing. You can also talk, just like Lindo. So let us move on. Now let's look at this picture. What is Lindo doing? He is lying on a bed. And what is in his ears? We can see that he is having something in his ears. And what is next to him? It is a cell phone, which means Lindo might be listening to something from the phone. Now let us read what Lindo is saying to us. I can listen. I can listen. I listen with my 2 ears. I listen with my 2 ears. So, dear learners, Lindo can listen with his 2 ears. Can you also listen with your 2 ears? Yes, I know. Some of you can listen with their 2 ears. Now, let us move on, dear learners. What do we see? We can see some boys. How many of them? There are 3. And one of them is Lindo. Which one is Lindo? Lindo is the one in the middle. And he is carrying books, which means Lindo likes reading a lot. I hope you are also like Lindo, my dear friends. Now, where are they? They are at school. And from the way we look at the way they are doing their thing there, it seems they are going back home. Now, dear learners, let us read what Lindo is saying. I have 2 feet. I have 2 feet. I walk with my 2 feet. I walk with my 2 feet. I can also run. I can also run. Now, dear learners, we can see that Lindo has 2 feet. And with his 2 feet, he can walk and also run. What else can we do with our feet? We can kick and also dance. Now, I want us to look at this picture. Remember, I said we have a topic. It is I like myself. So now we are going to discuss the uses of body parts. Here, let us read this word at the top of the picture. What does it say? It says uses of body parts. Let's read. Uses of body parts. Now we have a picture of Lindo, dear learners. I want us to discuss some of the uses. We said that with our eyes we can see. With our eyes we can see because Lindo, as we can refer to the story, was reading. What enables Lindo to read, dear learners? It was the eyes. With our nose we can smell. With our nose we can smell. And also we can smell bad and good smell. What can we do with our mouth, dear Elena? With our mouth we can sing, talk, and also eat. What can we do with our ears, my friends? With our ears we can hear different sounds. We can hear we can also, dear learners, we can also listen, just as Lindo has done here. He was listening to music, we can say that, or else he was listening to a story. We don't know what he was listening, but he was listening. Okay, what can we do with our feet, dear learners? With our feet, we can kick, we can run, we can walk. Now, dear learners, I want us to look at our classwork for today. Let us read the instruction, dear learner. It says, which part of the body do you use? Which part of the body do you use? Now, let us look at our pictures. Here is our first picture, dear learner. What is happening in our first picture? We can see a boy kicking a ball. What do you use for kicking? We use our feet for kicking. Isn't it, dear learner? Yes, it is. So, let's move on to our second picture. What do we see? We see a girl blowing a balloon, isn't it? Yes, the girl is blowing a balloon. Now, what do we use for blowing, dear learners? We use our mouth for blowing. Let's move on to our third picture. What do we see, dear learners? We see two children playing tennis. They are playing tennis together. So what do they use for hitting? They are using their hands to hit the tennis with their bats. Now, let us look at our last picture. This is our last picture, dear learners. What do we see? We see a girl smelling some flowers. What colors are the flowers? They are pink and they look beautiful. Now, what does the girl use for smelling? She is using her nose. So, dear learners, we use our nose for smelling. Dear learners, let us look back. We were looking at how we can handle a book. Remember, we said that whenever we are handling a book, we have to have clean, dry hands. When we are opening our books, we have to be gentle. And also, dear learners, we look at I Like Myself. In I Like Myself, we were reading a story. So, we also learned how to read the story. We read the topic and the reading directions. Then we moved on to uses of body parts. We moved on to the uses of body parts. We said we used our eyes for seeing. We use our ears for hearing. We use our mouth for talking, eating, and we can also use our mouth for singing. Dear learners, we also looked at the uses of our... Okay. Now let us move on. This is the end of our lesson. Dear learners, I want us to say the rhyme again about handling the book. I hope you like reading, my dear friends. Now let us start. 1, 2, 3, start. I am a book.
I am a book.
I love myself.
I love myself.
This is my face.
This is my face.
Smooth and shiny.
Smooth and shiny.
When you handle me.
When you handle me.
Handle me with care.
Handle me with care.
When you open me.
When you open me.
Open me gently.
Open me gently.
Smelly dirty hands.
Smelly dirty hands.
Tear my heart apart.
Tear my heart apart.
Wet slimy hands.
Wet slimy hands.
Give me a headache.
Give me a headache.
Take good care of me.
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 Love me, love me.
Love me, love me.
I am a book.
I am a book.
Yes, dear learners, thank you for your time. I hope to see you next time if God permits.
Okay, thank you very much. We definitely believe that God will permit. Okay, as I said, thank you very much, Teacher Ngobile. We're hoping to see you again next time for another amazing lesson. Okay.
Okay, that's okay.
Grade 3s and 4s, get closer to your screens because your mathematics teacher, Teacher Tolagele Gunene, will be back after this infomercial.
Oh, I've been making a lot of mistakes lately. More so to the extent you are likely to call them habits, and yes, precisely. I want to lodge in a complaint. No, file a case. I have incriminating evidence. What? I've been places. So many souls tied to mine, but the fingerprints all over me. Sergeant, I hereby file a case of fingerprints. There are one too many of them on me, on my face, hands, legs, and oh, but these lips, those that have been in gory places have also been here. So, Sergeant, listen, I'd like to file in a case of fingerprints. Write down, left me covered in evidence. I'm the evidence, actually. Look at me closely. No, get a microscope. Oh, but these hands have held the worst and the best. These lips have kissed frogs, dead frogs that could never turn into princes. So, Sergeant, I'd like to file in a case. Pay attention, I'm turning myself in. I couldn't find the one, so I made two. And the third, I don't know where the fourth came from. The fifth was calm. The sixth came like a raging fire, love burning in his eyes. Oh, but the seventh was calm. So, Sergeant, I'd like to file in a case of fingerprints. I'm here to file a case of fingerprints, turning myself in. They're all over me. They've held me tight and close, fondled and cuddled me. Let me lay on their chest and I thanked you. You must have laughed, huh? But I was truly thankful someone was close. As I lay on their chest, I forged brotherly love, uncle love, fatherly love. As they moved in and out, I forged a biological connection. Damn it, I've been searching for a hand. Had the glove, but none fit in. I tried. At heart, I tried. At night, I stayed up. At dawn, I tossed and turned. Head remained in the clouds, whilst my soul got lost in meditation. I forgive you, girl. I accept you. I'm sorry. I'm proud of you. I commit to you. Today, I commit to confess the truth. Sergeant, I confess. Charge me accordingly. Which one is my cell? When is my trial? How long will he give me? I want a life sentence because I'll live for him. I'll live for you, all right? I confess I am not worthy. Would you forgive me? Forgive me because these fingerprints, wow. I take 3 showers a day hoping to wash them off. Or why won't they disappear? These fingerprints, Lord, I'm here to file in a case of fingerprints. These fingerprints all over me. Fingerprints.
Welcome grade 3s and 4s. This is the third lesson for today and you are learning mathematics with teacher Tolagele Gunene. My name is Lirato Mabilisa and also joining me in the studio is the sign language interpreter Nomcebo Dlamini. Please do not forget to watch us on YouTube or on Facebook and click that subscribe button so that when we are live you get a notification. A very good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, Lirato.
How are you today?
I'm fine. And how are you?
I'm alright. So today's topic is dividing up to 2-digit numbers by 4.
Yes, Lerato, but dividing by 4.
Okay, what do you expect the learner to have learned by the end of this lesson?
To divide up to 2-digit numbers by 4.
Okay, without wasting any time, please begin your lesson.
Thank you, Lerato. Greetings, grade 3 learner at home. My name is Tolagele Gunene. As Lerato said, I will be teaching you mathematics. Before we start, dear learner, bring along your learning materials, which are mathematics exercise book, mathematics workbook, pencil, and eraser. Our topic today, dear learner, is about dividing by 4.
And the subtopic is about dividing up to 2-digit numbers by 4. Dear learner, it is important to learn about division because it can help you to share equally among others. By the end of the lesson, dear learner, you should be able to group objects into 4 sets and divide up to 2-digit numbers by 4. Dear learner, we will use a word here, quotient, in our lesson. What is quotient, dear learner? Quotient is the answer that you get after dividing. For example, here, can we write a division sentence? 10 divided by 5 is equals to 2. So 2, it is the quotient. Dear learner, I assume that you know how to subtract numbers from grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. What is to subtract, dear learner? To subtract, dear learner, it is to find how many are left when a number of objects are taken away or removed from a group of objects. Now, dear learner, let us look at this subtraction sentence. Let us read it. 8 minus 4 is equals to 4. So, dear learner, let us show this in a diagram. We're going to draw 8 objects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then take away 4. How many are left? 4. Now, dear learner, let us look at this number sentence. Let us read it. 16 minus 4 minus 4 minus 4 is equals to 4. You can see that 4 here is repeatedly subtracted. Let us show this number sentence in a diagram. We're going to draw 16 objects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And take away 4 objects. Take away another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And take away another object. 4 objects. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4. Dear learner, I also assume that you have learned about dividing by 4. Now, dear learner, let us read this division sentence. 12 divided by 3 is equals to. Here, dear learner, we have to find the quotient. Remember, the quotient is the answer that you get after dividing. Here, dear learner, we are going to split 12 into 3 groups. Let us show this in a diagram. We are going to draw 3 sets. These are the 3 sets. And then split 12 among the 3 sets. Let us do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many objects are in each set? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each set has 4 objects. So the quotient is 4. Now, dear Elena, let us read the division sentence. 12 divided by 3 is equals to 4. Dear Elena, take your exercise book and your pencil and write everything that you are going to do now. Now, dear Elena, let us work out this division sentence. We are going to find a quotient. 24. Let us read the division sentence. 24 divided by 4 is equals to. Now, dear Elena, we are going to split 24 into 4 groups. Let us show this in a drawing. We are going to draw 4 sets. Then we are going to distribute 24 into these 4 sets. Let us do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. How many objects are in each set? Let us count, dear Elena, at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In each set, there are 6 objects. So, dear Elena, the quotient is 6. Dear Elena, let us read the division sentence. 24 divided by 4 is equals to 6. Now, dear Elena, let us work out this number sentence. Let us read it first. 32 divided by 4 is equals to. Here, dear Elena, we are going to split 32 into 4 groups. Let us show this in a drawing. We are going to draw 4 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then split 32 among the 4 groups. Let us do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. How many objects are in each set? Now let us count the object. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In each group, we have 8 objects, which is our quotient. Now, dear Elena, let us read the division sentence. 32 divided by 4 is equals to 8. Now, dear Elena, let us look at this diagram. Let us read what is written. Share the object shown equally between 4 people. Write the division sentence. What is to share, dear Elena? To share, dear Elena, it is to divide between 2 or more people. So when you share, you are dividing, which means grade 3 learner, the operation that we are going to write divided by. We are going to divide the object between how many people? We are going to divide the object by 4 people. Now, dear learner, what we don't know is the number of objects and the number of objects each person got. So, how are we going to find the number of objects? These are the objects, dear learner. We are going to count the number of objects. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There are 24 objects. So now the number sentence is 24 divided by 4 is equals to. Now we have to find the quotient. The quotient, it is the number of objects each person got. So what are we going to do? We're going to split 24 among 4 people. So we're going to draw 4 sets to represent the 4 people. Then, dear learner, we're going to distribute the object into these 4 sets. So, we will take 4 objects here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we distribute here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. We take another 4. Then we distribute 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we take another 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we take another 4, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then we take another 4, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then we take another 4, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24. Now, dear learner, how many objects did each person get? Let us count the object in each set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the quotient, dear learner, it is 6. Now, dear learner, let us look at this picture. You can see that there are apples. How many apples are there, dear learner? Let us count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 apples. And you can see that there are children here. How many children are there? Let us count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is Musa, and this is Sia, and this is Vuyo, and this is Snow. These children, dear Lena, they have to share these 8 apples among themselves. So Musa take an apple, Sia take an apple, Vuyo take an apple, Sino take an apple. You can see that there are still apples that are remaining. So Musa will take another apple, and Sia will take another apple, and Vuyo will take another apple, and Sino will take another apple. Now there are no apples. They have shared the apple. Each child got 2 apples. Musa has 2 apples. Sia has 2 apples. Vuyo has 2 apples. Sino has 2 apples. What number sentence can we write? We can say 8 divided by 4 is equals to 2. One may say, teacher, Musa has taken away 2 apples. Sia has taken away 2 apples. Vuyo has taken away 2 apples. And Sino has taken away 2 apples. What is to take away, dear Lena? To take away, dear Lena, it is to subtract. So here, dear Lena, the children have taken away equal groups of apple. Dear Lena, when we are dividing or sharing, we are also taking away. What number sentence can we write here? We can say 8 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2, which is equals to 0. When we look at this subtraction, dear Lena, you can see that 2 has been repeatedly subtracted. Now, dear Lena, division is like repeated subtraction. We use repeated subtraction to work out division sentences. Now, dear Lena, let us read this division sentence. 16 divided by 4 is equals to. We have to find the quotient. We have to use repeated subtraction. We're going to subtract, we're going to start with 16 and subtract 4 continuously until we have 0. We're going to start with 16 and subtract 4, which is equals to 12. 12 minus 4 is equals to 8. 8 minus 4 is equals to 4. 4 minus 4 is equals to 0. Remember, grade 3 learner, we have to find the quotient. How are we going to find a quotient when we are using a repeated subtraction? We are going to count the number of 4s being subtracted. Let us count the number of 4s that has been subtracted from 16 up to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the quotient, dear Elena, it is 4. 16 divided by 4 is equals to 4. Now, dear Elena, let us use repeated subtraction to work out this division sentence. Let us read it. 20 divided by 4 is equals to. We have to find the quotient, dear Elena. So we are going to use repeated subtraction. We are going to start from 20. 20 minus 4 is equals to 16. 16 minus 4 is equals to 12. 12 minus 4 is equals to 8. 8 minus 4 is equals to 4. 4 minus 4 is equals to 0. Remember, I said, when you are finding the quotient using a repeated subtraction, you count the number of 4s being subtracted. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the quotient, dear Elena, it is 5. Now let us read the number sentence. 20 divided by 4 is equals to 5. Now, dear Elena, let us use a number line to show division sentences. Make sure, dear Elena, when you are showing division sentences on a number line, make sure that your number line starts from 0. It may end at any number, but it should start from 0. Now, dear Elena, let us work out this division sentence. Let us read it first. 16 divided by 4 is equals to. So, dear Elena, we will begin from 16 and count in groups of 4 until we reach 0. So now let us count. 1. Remember, dear Elena, we don't start counting from 16, but we start counting from the next number. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we throw a loop arrow from 16 up to 12. And we didn't reach 0. We have to count backwards until we reach 0 in groups of 4. Let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And throw a loop arrow from 12 to 8. We count backwards again in a group of 4. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we throw a loop arrow from 8 to 4. We didn't reach 0. We have to continue counting backwards until we reach 0. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you throw a loop arrow from 4 to 0. Now, dear Elena, we have reached 0. So the quotient, dear Elena, it is the number of loop arrows. Let us count the loop arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the quotient, dear Elena, it is 4. Let us read the number sentence. 16 divided by 4 is equals to 4. Dear Elena, let us work out this division sentence. 12 divided by 4 is equals to. Now, dear Elena, we will begin from 12 and count backwards in groups of 4. We will begin here and count backwards. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw a loop arrow from 12 to 8. Again, let us count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you draw a loop arrow from 8 to 4. We didn't reach 0. We have to count backwards by groups of 4. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we draw a loop arrow from 4 to 0. Now we have reached 0. Let us count the number of loop arrows. 1, 2, 3. So, dear Elena, 3 is our quotient. So 12 divided by 4 is equals to 3. Now, dear Elena, let us look at this word problem. Let us read this word problem. A shopkeeper gave 4 children 12 sweets to share equally. How many sweets did each child get? Dear Elena, it is important to understand the word problem. You should know the information that you are given. For example, here, dear Elena, the information that you are given is that 4 children shared 12 sweets. It is also important, dear Elena, to know what are you asked to find. Here, dear Elena, we have to find the number of sweets each child get. So, dear Elena, if there are 12 sweets and 4 children share them among themselves, we can write an operation. Remember, to share, it is to divide. The operation that we are going to write, it is divided by. We are going to divide how many sweets, dear Lena? We are going to divide 12 sweets among 4 children. And now we have to find the number of sweets each child get. So, dear Lena, we are going to represent this in a diagram. We are going to draw 4 sets to represent the 4 children and distribute the sweets between the 4 groups. Let us do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many sweets did each child get? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember, dear Lena, we count the object in the set. So, dear Lena, the quotient is 3. 12 divided by 3, 12 divided by 4 is equals to 3. Now, dear Lena, let us look at this word problem. Let us read it. There are 4 boys. 4 boys. They shared 20 fish equally. How many fish did each boy get? Dear Lena, it is important to know the information that you are given. The information that you are given here is that 4 boys shared 20 fish equally. And it's also important, dear Lena, to know what are you asked to do, to find. Here, dear Lena, 4 boys shared 20 fish. Shared, dear Lena, at home means dividing. So the operation we are going to write, it is dividing by. We are going to divide how many fish, dear Lena? 20. The 20 fish will be divided among 4 boys. So, dear Lena, we are going to find the quotient. We can show this, dear learner, in a form of a diagram. We're going to draw four sets to represent the 4 boys. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So now we're distributing the 20 fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. How many fish are in each group? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, dear Lena, the quotient, it is 5. Dear Lena, do an exercise on page 43 and 44 of your pupils' workbook, where it says, work out division problems. For example, here, 12 divided by 4 is equals to 3. Dear learner, we were learning about division sentences. We were dividing by 4. The answer that we get when dividing is called a quotient. That brings us to the end of the lesson. Thank you so much, dear learner. Over to you, Lerato.
Thank you very much, Teacher Gunene. I'm hoping when you come again next time, you're going to give us another informative lesson as this one.
Yes, Lerato, we'll do that.
Okay. If you are in Form 1, Form 2, or Form 4, get closer to your screen because Nogwazi will be back with the science teacher after this infomercial.
Eswatini, your favorite show, is back. The Spotlight Season 2 returns with an exciting new twist. We are taking the kingdom's #1 music talent search digital. One lucky winner will drive away in a brand new Kia Picanto, get a recording deal, and walk away with fantastic prizes, including a trendy Huawei P40 Pro. This year, the application process has been made better, easier, and brighter. To apply, simply follow the application process on the Spotlight and MTN Eswatini social media platforms. And remember to download the Ayoba and Music Time apps on your mobile device to complete your registration into the Spotlight Season 2. Visit yellowhub.co.sz/the spotlight/apply. The audition dates are as follows. Manzini, 26th September to the 1st of October. Shiselweni, the 3rd to the 8th of October. Hoho, 10th to the 15th of October. Lubombo, 17th to the 22nd of October. Shine bright like the star that you are on the Spotlight Season 2.
Your favorite music show is back. We're bringing you the hottest music videos and live studio interviews with your favorite celebrities. We're giving you a front row seat to the latest fashion trends as well as your weekend gig guide. Join us live on social media and call in to send in your shout-outs. Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Friday at 5:30 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
kufaka tsimbi yeqeda i-HIV kanye namalalejeva.
Kubika Sibusiso Ngubane anamba ngwadube kaTomindaba kalavumisa.
Government of Eswatini TV ngilingithini khule ngambonga dube. Sithemba bani.
A very good afternoon to our viewers and a warm welcome back to those who have been with us since 2 p.m. This is Home Study on Eswatini TV. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini, and right now we are doing science with Faith Msibi for the Form 1s and the Form 2s, who is already with me in the studio. How are you doing this afternoon, Faith?
I'm good, Nogwazi, and how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. Today we're doing pressure and weight.
Pressure, mass, and weight.
Okay, so it's pressure, mass, and weight. So what are you expecting your Form 1s and your Form 2s to have learnt by the end of the lesson?
I expect the learners at home to be able to distinguish between mass and weight, because most of the time mass and weight is confused by the learners and the people out there in the world.
Yes, that is very true. That is very, very true. Is there anything that they're going to need for this lesson?
They can get their Form 1 textbook, a pencil, and an exercise book for writing.
All right, Form 1s and Form 2s, get yourselves your textbook, something to write on and something to write with, and be ready for your lesson. And a reminder that we are live right now on YouTube and on Facebook, and please feel free to use our WhatsApp number to text any questions that you might have. Faith, I think you may begin with your lesson.
Thank you, Nagwazi. Good afternoon, dear learner at home. Our lesson today is on pressure, mass, and weight. So let us look at the objectives of our lesson. So, dear learner at home, you are supposed to be able to define pressure as force per unit area. You are supposed to be able to state the unit for pressure as the Pascal. State and investigate the use of the equation P is equal to F over A, which is pressure is equal to force over area. You should be able to distinguish between mass and weight in terms of a definition, units, and the instrument of measurement. Also describe an experiment to determine the position of the center of mass of a plane lamina. You should also be able to investigate and describe the effects of the position of the center of mass on the stability of objects. And then our dear learner at home, the importance of learning about pressure, mass, and weight. We are saying here, the learner should be able to differentiate between mass and weight, as most of the time it is confused by many, even the world out there. We can have an example of when you are going to hospital, usually the young ones from 0 up to 4 years or 5 years, they are given cards. They are written the child's weight instead of the child's mass. Learners should be able to discover why objects topple over or why objects they fall. Let us now look at pressure. Pressure is the amount of force exerted on an object per unit area. An example, if you place your hand on a desk and you push down gently, you exert pressure on the desk. The amount of pressure exerted on an object depends on two things. It depends on size, the size of the force that is being pushed down on the object, and then the area in contact with the object. And then now, dear learner at home, let us look at how to calculate pressure. To calculate pressure, we use a formula. Pressure is equal to force over, it's supposed to be force over area. And then the SI unit for pressure, it is the Pascal, which has a symbol PA. And we say that 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton meter per square meter. Let us now look at examples on how to calculate pressure. A force of 100 newtons is acting through an area of 2 square meters. And then we have the solution. Pressure is equal to force over area. What is our force? The force is 100, and then the area is 2. 100 divided by 2, it is 50. And then the units are the Pascal, PA. And then again, another example. A force of 400 newtons acting through an area, 400 newton. It is the force acting through an area of 5 square meters. And then the solution, we say pressure is equal to force divided by area. And then our force is 400. The area is 5. We divide 400 by 5, we get 80. And then we have the units as the Pascal. And then now, dear learner at home, let us look at mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. The mass of an object is mostly commonly measured in in kilograms, grams, milligrams. And then the SI unit for mass, it is the kilogram. To measure mass, we use a balance, and then we have examples of balances. We have a triple beam balance, we have a bathroom scale, and we have a top pen balance. And then let us look at the diagrams here showing the instrument used to measure mass. We have a triple beam balance, we have a lever arm balance, we also have a top pen balance, we have a bathroom scale. Measuring force. To measure force, we use a force meter or a spring balance. A force meter uses a spring that extends when a force is being applied to its ends. The SI unit, or the standard unit for force, it is the Newton, and it is abbreviated by a capital letter N. And then, dear learner, we have the instrument here. We have the force meter or the spring balance, which is used to measure force. It is used to measure weight. It has a hook there, and then there is a spring inside. Where there is a hook, that is where you hang the object. Let us now look at stability. Stability, it is the measure of how likely it is for an object to topple over when it is pushed or when it is moved. How likely to topple over or to fall when it is given a push or when it is moved. And then stable objects are very difficult to topple over, while unstable objects, they easily topple over, they easily fall. For an object to be stable, it must have a wide base or a broad base, and then a low center of gravity. Objects with a narrow base and a high center of mass are less stable. Let us look at these objects here. We have these shapes. They are symmetrical objects with lines of symmetry. So where the lines of symmetry or the axes meet, it becomes the center of mass of that object. We say here this is where mostly the mass is concentrated. And then now let us look at these few questions. Calculate the area of a force of 150 newtons acting through the area of 2 square meters. Describe two differences between mass and weight. And then we have a diagram showing a goalkeeper. Okay, Lerato. A break, please.
Okay, Faith, it seems like you need a break. Viewers at home, we will be right back after this.
Better Health, Better Life. It's another season on your favorite program, Better Health, Better Life, here on Eswatini TV.
Ayinibingelele kunembukele babukele emakhaya kulolu hlelo i-Better Health, Better Life. Lona thulula hlelo ngunokuphila masangana.
It's all about our health, our better health today, and our better life tomorrow. In the midst of this global pandemic coronavirus, Better Health, Better Life brings you closer to your health professionals.
Nangabe nje ngidla into legcwele amafutha lento ngidla
so siyakhuthaza ukuthi lala abahlala nalala abanashukela abafunde nabo ngaloshukela.
Watch out for another fresh season of Better Health, Better Life on Eswatini TV. It's getting bigger and better every season. This season with COVID-19 is a must to watch for everyone in every home. Better Health, Better Life, your gateway to a healthy living.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Welcome back to our viewers. You are still watching Science for the Form 1s and the Form 2s with Faith Msibi. Faith, you may please continue with your lesson.
Thank you, Nagwazi. Welcome back, dear learner at home. We're looking at questions. Let us look at question 1. Calculate the area of a force of 150 newtons acting through the area of 2 square meters. We said pressure is equal to force over A. So here we're going to have 150 over 2, and then you get 75 pascals. Describe 2 differences between mass and weight. You can differentiate between mass and weight in terms of a definition. We say mass is the amount of matter in an object, whereas weight is the gravitational force exerted in an object. We can also differentiate in terms of units. We say mass is measured in grams, kilograms, and milligrams, and then weight is measured in newtons. And then now we have a diagram showing the posture of a goalkeeper during a penalty shootout. Describe how the goalkeeper's posture make him more stable. When you look at the goalkeeper there, the legs are spread apart and the legs are spread apart, and you look at the body, it is being shortened there. So we say the legs are spread apart to broaden the base, and then the center of mass, which is the distance from the center of the object to the base, it is short. So we say the goalkeeper has a low center of mass to be stable. And then another question. In a Form 1 class activity, learners use the instrument marked X to measure the weight of objects. What is the name given to X? X is a spring balance, and the units used to measure the quantity, it is the Newton meter. Okay, dear learner at home, let us look at how to find the center of mass of a plane lamina. So we are going to watch a video, dear learner at home.
Okay, Faith, I'm so sorry. It seems like there is a problem with your video. Can we please take a bit of a break? We'll be right back after this. Viewers at home, we'll be right back after this.
Usiseka uvuseleleke wakheke emoyeni ngomculo wetenkolo bahlabeleli balapha eSwatini. Sikulethele abahlabeleli abadala nabo lapha sikhula emculweni wetenkolo bahlabela bukhoma lapha eSwatini. Siphinde sixoxisane kabanti ngalaba kwentako emsebentini wabo wekuhlabelela igospel konke kungidinisa simakathe. Ungaphuthelwa ngomculo wegospel khona lapha eSwatini TV. We praise, to God be the glory.
Sinibusele maswati lamahle kanye nabo bonke abazalwane eveni laseSwatini. Igama lami ngingu-Ayandazwane, Health Promotions Officer Kwalohlelo lolushasha lolubitwa ngekuthi yi-Faith and Community Initiative, kafishane FCI.
Njengoba sisho sobe sikhuluma ngokusebenzisana nebandla. Bafundisi ngisho njalo namabandla anebantu akhiwa abantu lebafikayo lebangela lamaswati lesikhuluma ngayo. And kuyindlela kuba ngiyona leyo platform lenye lekubonakala ukuthi singayisebenzisa kwabonakala even then ukuthi singayisebenzisa ukuthi sikhone ukuthi sifike kubo bonke abantu.
Ikakhulu lubuke ukuthi bantu basitakale kwekuqala endzabeni yokuthi kwanze umsebenzi wokuvikela igciwane le-HIV la Kangwane.
But labantu bebati disclose bona batisho bona sibanjani baphathekile bathandazelwe labo bantu labo nabativa abangcono bebasithatha hayi ngithemba sengiphilile mina asizange ngisho kanye ndakunika nje good example sibatshela sabayekela amaphilisi.
Namhla ke ngithe ukuthi ukuthatha indvodza ngithe ukuthatha babe ukuthi asade isimo sakhe sengadi kumcoka ukuthi usade isimo sengadi kuze utokhombisa luthando lonalo emndenini wakho utokhombisa luthando lonalo nasemphakathini.
Dear learner at home, let us look at how to find the center of mass of a plane lamina. A plane lamina is an irregular shaped object like the one I have on my hand. And then now, let us mark two holes which are adjacent to each other. Let us mark the holes. Let's mark the holes. So we have the two holes now here. And then let us put a string and an object which we are going to hang it, and then it's going to pass through the lamina. And then dear learner, we have the plane lamina and the object there. So we are going to wait for the object to stop moving, and then we draw a line through where the string passes through the plane lamina or the card. So let us wait. It is still moving. It is still moving. Okay, dear learner at home. It has stopped moving. Let us mark 2 points where it passes, and then we are going to draw a line. There we go. Then now we have our line. The line where it passes through the first hole. So now let us look at the other line. We put the string in the other hole. Okay, now we have the object hanging in the other hole, the second hole. So now we are going to wait for the object to stop moving, and then we draw a line where the string passes through the card. It is still moving. Okay, Dylan, let us draw, let us mark 2 points where it passes. It has stopped moving, and then let us draw. Let us draw. Dear Lena at home, now we have 2 holes. Okay, so this is the center of mass of the card. Let us see if it balances on the figure. Yes, it balances. So this shows that it is the center of mass of this card.
All right, Faith, it seems like your lesson has ended. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Nogwazi.
Yes.
I hope, dear Lena at home, we have enjoyed the lesson. Our lesson today was on pressure, mass and weight. We have defined pressure. We also looked at the units used to measure pressure, and we have differentiated between mass and weight in terms of definition, units, and the instruments of measurement. And we looked at why objects easily fall or topple over when they are given a push. We said that they easily fall because they have a high center of mass and they don't have a broad base.
Thank you so much, Faith. We'll be seeing you soon, I'm sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nawaz.
All right, Form 4s, get closer to your screens because Kombisa Lukele will follow right next with the English language lesson. We'll be right back after this.
Imbi yeqeda i-HIV kanye namalale jeva.
Kubika Sibusiso Ngubane anamba ngwadube kaqoma indaba kalavumisa.
Government of Eswatini TV in Boomerang number 1 today. Stand by.
I never thought of getting married. Maybe it was because under the shade of my emotion I was afraid. With my character and background I was concerned. I just never thought I'll ever find the right girl. The girl of my dreams is like something I never take time to think. Maybe it was because in the streams of pain I've seen. That's why the color of my nectar wasn't pink. I think of twisting around the beat, gazing on the other side of the street, only to find there was a girl on my seat. Who was she? A little dimple on her cheek. As I was serving her body I just felt weak. Like my grandmother raised not kids so clean and so neat. I tried to stare at the farmer sweet, trying to avoid the way she looks so sweet, trying to calm her breath for me so that she'll understand how much I mean it. As I was looking at the eyes of the stranger, it's like they started kiss a ranger. Towards the east I can't take more than these. I feel like bowing down and ask her to marry me please. So I cut the orbits of different stars and shut my eyes to make them rise. My heart was caught within the clouds, and Valentine shall be in bed. Horontados teddy bears and winds cold I'll wear net. Sprinkle up the blood that is liquid dust from the depths of my solid heart just to make it red. And in the natal SMS, hope she reply, or it might be worse.
Welcome back to Home Study viewers at home. You are still tuned in on Eswatini TV. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini. Right now we are doing the Form 4 English language lesson with Kombisa Lukele, who is already with me in the studio. Also joining me in the studio, is our sign language interpreter Nombumelelo Hadebe. Kombisa, how are you this afternoon?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Nogwazi?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Today we're doing informal letter writing.
That's correct, Nogwazi. We're doing informal writing and informal letter.
Okay, all right. What are you expecting your Form 4s to have learned by the end of the lesson?
So by the end of the lesson, I expect that the Form 4s will be able to, or rather to help them use informal register to achieve a specific purpose, and then also to use language and register appropriate to the audience and the context of their writing.
All right, Form 4s, I hope you are ready for your lesson. Also, a reminder that we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to use our WhatsApp number. Kombisa, you may begin your lesson.
Thank you very much. Good day to the Form 4s at home. This is English language. Today, we are continuing with our informal register. Remember, over the past lessons, we've been looking at the different styles of writing, and then we went on to do the formal and informal registers. And then in our previous lesson on Monday, that is, we were looking at writing an informal register, and especially in the context of writing a letter or even an informal email. We looked at an introduction, that is where we went as far as, and then so today we are continuing with writing an informal letter. Okay, we did say that whenever you come across this question where you are supposed to write an informal letter, sometimes it may come as an email. You can be asked to write an email to a friend and then tell them about something. So I said that it's not something that is totally different from from writing a letter. The only thing that is different is probably the media. Otherwise, everything else, as far as the language is concerned, we still use informal language, and we still probably look at all the things that we look at when we are writing an informal letter. So today we are all about writing an informal letter. First of all, we would like to ask the question, or rather answer the question, what it is. What it is, this is where we are. What is an informal letter? It is a letter that you write to your friends, right? To your friends and relatives, or anyone for that matter, that you may have a personal relationship with. So it is a letter that you can write to a friend, a relative, or anyone that you may have a personal relationship with. So the one thing that is important in letter writing, that is when you're writing an informal letter, is that you need to be relevant in terms of your language usage, right? You need to be relevant to your audience. That is by using language and register that is easy for them to understand. When we say them, who do we mean? We basically mean your audience, the person that you are writing to. You need to, because you are communicating to them, you don't want to come across or sound sophisticated. For example, when you are writing to your uneducated, probably grandmother or even uncle or aunt, you wouldn't want to use sophisticated language that he cannot understand. So you want to use language that they understand. So even when you're writing to your peers, you don't want to come across as complex or as someone who is now sophisticated for them or an expert in a certain field. You need to use language according to their in a way that they can be able actually to relate and understand the information that you want to communicate to them. So it is important, therefore, to be relevant to your audience by using language and register that is easy for them to understand. However, make sure that even if you do so, you still achieve the purpose. I cannot overemphasize the word purpose. It is important that you still achieve the purpose of your writing because you are communicating. There's a certain thing that you want to achieve. So make sure that even if you are using that language that is relevant to them, but then make sure you don't lose focus of what? Of why you are writing, of the reason you are writing. You want to do that. Let's go over the structure of an informal writing, of an informal letter to be specific. The structure of an informal letter. In an informal letter, we have a greeting. All right, we do have a greeting. So when we greet in an informal letter, this is the part where we say dear. You know, it begins with dear. You would remember that at our level, that is in Form 4, we are not, we know that you know by now, at least, that we have an address. You know how to write an address, right? So we don't necessarily get to that point. Yes, a letter was going to have an address. That is your own address. That is the writer's address. But then, now for our academic purposes, we know that you've been doing that since primary school. You went to do that even at junior secondary. So now we are at Form 4. We know you know that, right? So that is why we begin with the greeting. Our essay, our letter is going to begin with the greeting to say, dear, and then you give the name. Or else you just write the name of the person you are writing to. All right. You can just either say, well, dear, my friend Sparks. So I can write that. Or else just write the name when I begin my letter, just to say Sparks instead of dear Sparks. It is still permissible. And even but then if you are going to write the name, it is important that you again realize the relationship that you have. You want to be respectful. You want to be polite, especially to your relatives who are older. Probably you're writing to your father. Probably you're writing to your uncle or aunt. So you would say aunt, and then you name, you give the name instead of just saying Sophie or Trifina, and then that's your aunt. It's an old person, so you might want to say Aunt Trifina or Aunt Sophie or Aunt Lomasonfo, things like that. All right, so after the greeting, then we have an introduction. Right. We did in our previous lesson look at the introduction briefly on how it should be structured. We'll just go through it again. So an introduction to an informal letter, we need to show that, okay, this is an informal way of communicating. This person that I'm talking to or I'm writing to, it's someone that we communicate with. It's someone that we have a personal relationship with. So it is not important for me to just get straight to the point on why I'm writing that particular day. But then I do need to establish, and acknowledge the fact that we know each other at a personal level. So that's why we say that in the introduction, you should show an existing personal relationship that is between you and your friend or the relative that you may be writing to. For example, you may begin by referencing something that might have happened before what actually prompted you to write. So it's something like that to show that, okay, you know what, we know each other at a personal level. We're going to see examples of that personal relationship where you establish it right in the beginning of the informal letter. Okay, so now again, you should always carry the theme, right? That is, what is the theme? The theme would be the reason you are writing. So that is the reason you are writing that day. Why are we saying that day? It's because you have been writing letters. You communicate with this person often. So what is the reason to write on that particular day, right? It should be reflected in the introduction so that they know what to expect, all right? So that they know what to expect. I'll make an example here. You may be writing to invite, right? So if you now have a birthday party coming up, and then you are inviting your friend to a birthday party, or there's a family wedding that is going to happen in the near future. So you are inviting that one. So you need to let them know from the introduction that why you are writing. You may be writing to advise, you may be writing to sympathize, you may be writing for different purposes, to send your condolences, whatever. But the important thing is that the audience, your reader, should be aware, should have an idea right from the beginning, right from the introduction of what to expect in your letter. So, like we said here, this helps the reader to know what to expect from your letter. That is the message you set out to convey, so that they know exactly at the end of it all, after reading the letter, that, okay, this is the message that you are sending to them. This is the whole, even if you have included some information which might not be really relevant to what you wanted to say, but they will know at the end of the day that this is what you wanted to tell them. This is the main message of the writing. So it is advisable to use a transition phrase, or what we call transition phrases, that is between the personal relationship and the purpose of writing. So using what? Transition phrases. It is important to use those transition phrases. What are transition phrases? We are going to see them in our next coming slides or examples. All right. So maybe let's just get straight into it. We are looking at the sample introduction here. And we'll try to identify the things that we've been talking about and saying that they are part of the introduction and they need to be there. So on your screens right now, there are two introductions written in red. Let's look at the first one. So the first one would be A, and then the second one would be B. So let's look at A. It was great hearing from you after such a long time. How have you been? Anyway, I thought I should write to check on you and fill you in on the latest developments in my new school. All right, so that is the introduction. Now let's get into the introduction itself and then try to analyze it and dissect it. So it was great hearing from you. So when you say it was great hearing from you after such a long time, this is the point where we say you are establishing what? A relationship. You are showing that there's an existing relationship. In what way? Here, when you say it was great hearing from you, so already this tells us that what happened? You received a letter from your friend. We'll take it you received a letter, not necessarily a text message or even a phone call, because in the context of our writing, let's just say, or rather in the context of our lesson, let's just say you received a letter. So it was great hearing from you. So this means that as a writer, I had already received a letter from my friend, the person that I'm writing to. So which means that we do communicate every now and again. All right. And then even that letter, it was after such a long time. So it had been a while since my friend had written to say hi or written to me for whatever reason. So this time around, I'm acknowledging receipt of that letter and I'm showing that I was happy to receive that letter. And then I ask even myself, how have you been? That is over all this time. It's permissible. It is advisable because this is a friendly register. This is a friendly letter. We are saying that you need to show what? You need to show the fact that you communicate. You have what we call a personal relationship with that particular person. And then now you continue. You say, anyway, I'm going to use this one for a different shade now. Anyway, I thought I should write to check on you. Anyway, I thought I should write to check on you. So here, I talked about what we call a transition phrase. Use a transition phrase where you must use a transition phrase. If you can go back a bit to that slide, we said that you must use a transition phrase. All right, I'm going to just erase that. And then we say use what? A transition phrases between the personal relationship and the purpose of your writing. So let us go to that slide and to see the transition phrase that is between the personal relationship and the purpose of writing on that particular day. I'd like us to focus on that right now. So we'll just erase everything else there. And then, so we have got this transition. Where is the purpose? The purpose of writing is that I'm writing to do what? To check on you and also to fill you in on the latest developments in my new school. This is the purpose, right? And then where is the personal relationship? The personal relationship is this part that we talked about. That is the first sentence. So we say that there should be a transition between the two. So where is the transition now? Therefore, here is the transition that we're talking about here. anyway, I thought I should write, right? Anyway, I thought I should write. The transition helps to prepare the reader to get what? To get the reason for writing. That is the purpose. You can't just put in the purpose of your writing. Hey, how have you been? I'm writing to, so you need to have that transition that links the personal relationship that you show, that is the first sentence, and then with the purpose of your writing. Because why? This is conversational. This is the conversational tone that we said is used in informal writing. Okay, so let's look at the second one, which we said was B. Okay, so when you look at B, it says, it's been a while since I last wrote to you, and I'm sorry for that. I heard from your mom that you are considering quitting school, and I'm worried. All right, so when you look at this one, again, we have got this element here to show that there's an existing relationship between these two. It's been a while since I last wrote to you. So normally I do write to you, but now it's been a while. And because I'm friendly here, and because still I want to be polite, I need to say, and I'm sorry for that. Okay, so because I've got this relationship, we are friends, right? So that is how it is. So I heard from your mom that you are considering quitting school, and I'm worried. Do we have the purpose there? I heard from your mom that you are considering quitting school, and I'm worried. Yes, the purpose is there, but the purpose is suggested. It is a suggested purpose that there's something I'm writing concerning that idea of you quitting school. So I'm concerned by that. So the purpose is there in this one. So let's get to the next slide. We are looking at the structure of an informal letter. We said that there's a greeting in number 1. Number 2, we said there's an introduction. And then now we are in number 3. Number 3, we then have the body now. And in the body, this is where the main content of your letter goes into. Where the main content of your letter goes into. So that is where you want to pass the message. That is where you use language. That is where you use the style, and make sure that you select your words so that they meet the purpose that you want to achieve on that particular day. Again, even if we are writing for a friend, we still need to be organized. So organization of key points is important. So organization of key points is important. That is organization of the key points that you want to make. Organize them in a logical way. Where we are, that is the next point there. You want to be logical so that your friend can be able to follow what you are saying. All right. They can be able to follow what you are saying, because still, even if we are writing, I'm writing to a friend or to a relative, there's the reason that I'm writing, the fact that I'm writing, it means that there's something that I want to communicate. All right. So I want the message to get to my audience, to my reader, and to be as effective as possible. That is why I'll also have to paragraph. Even for academic purposes, that is for our purposes of the exam, you need to display the ability, the conventions of paragraphing, knowing that I'm arranging or I'm organizing my points in a certain way. I know first paragraph, body paragraph, I'm talking about this. Second body paragraph, this is what I'll be talking about. And then third body paragraph, even or before the closing, this is what I'll be talking about. So moving on. Remember, in our previous lessons, we talked about context, especially when writing an informal letter. We talked about what? We talked about this word here, context. So let's just go through it again. Make sure you use the appropriate style relevant to that specific context and purpose. So make sure you use the appropriate style relevant to that specific context and purpose. Remember, we said that the context, basically, it's the occasion or the situation on that particular day. So that is the context there. That is the occasion. So examples of style according to context. Let's look at those now. the examples of style according to context. So we are looking at those examples. First of all, you may be asked in your letter to write to a friend and advise your friend who, say, an example, is considering quitting school because probably has failed to or maybe has failed a class twice or even repeated a class twice. So you are writing to advise that friend of yours. The context now will be different from when you are inviting a friend. And at the same time, there's a purpose that you want to achieve. And the purpose would be to do what? To advise. All right. So in your writing, you need to use the style, that is, apply the style that is advising. That is, you have to select words and phrases that are advisory in nature. So that is why we say use advisory phrases such as, if I were you, I'd consider doing this. Okay. If I were you, I'd consider doing this. Because again, you don't want to come across as someone who is actually not advising, but rather giving an instruction or a command. Right. So by using these such phrases, if I were you, I would consider doing this. It means that I am giving an advice. I'm not necessarily telling you what to do, because if I'm advising you, if I'm giving an advice, I'm not necessarily telling you, okay, this is the way that is going to happen. I mean, this is the way that is going to work for you. But instead, it's what I think. So I need to use those phrases that are going to tell the reader and even show the marker that I do understand the purpose, why I'm writing to advise. So I'm giving advice. Again, another example would be, in my experience, it works well if we do this. So in my experience, I'm giving my own experience. You know, it's up to you. I leave it up to you whether you take the advice or not, instead of coming across as forcing you or forcing my ideas and my advice on you, and then at the end of the day you feel obliged to do what? To take my advice. So another example here that is a different context this time around would be an apology, right? You are writing to apologize. Let's say you wronged a friend and now you are writing to apologize. I'll make an example in our text, the New Language for Life. It is it's not the New Language for Life, actually. It is the New Enjoy English. That is for Form 4, that blue one. I'm sure maybe by the time school's closed, you had done the diary, depending on where your teacher decided to start. So now there's that diary of that friend, you know, who's new to the school and then gets misled by one Lerato from that. Let's say you are now Lerato, and then you have to write a letter of apology to your friend. Okay, and then telling them that, okay, you are sorry for what you did. So when writing an apology, the style that is expected is that you should sound sincere because you are apologizing, you know. So you should sound sincere in your apology, that it is from the bottom of your heart. You know, let's consider this sentence to just illustrate that. Okay, so I'm very sorry for breaking your phone. So this will be the one. I'm very sorry for breaking your phone. This phrase right here, I'm very sorry, is apologetic. You know, I'm very sorry for breaking your phone, but you are partly to blame. And then it says that you are partly to blame. Then this is not sincere, you know, because when you are writing an apology, you never justify yourself. So these are some examples of the context that we need to take into consideration before we actually apply the relevant style of writing. Have those words that are going to show that you are doing or you're trying to meet that particular purpose on why you are writing on that particular day. Otherwise, we have come to the end of our lesson for today. I hope to see you the next time.
Thank you very much, Kombisa, for your lesson, and we're hoping your Form 4s enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Definitely. Thank
you so much. Form 4s, stay tuned, because up next is Physics with Mr. Mtutuzi Shabangu. We'll be right back after this.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you, but we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformations.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Welcome back to Home Study on Eswatini TV, and a very good afternoon to you if you have just joined us. My name is Nogwazi Dlamini. Right now we are doing Form 4 Physics with Mr. Mduduzi Shabangu, who is already with me in the studio. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, Nogwazi.
I'm doing well, thank you very much. I understand today we're doing forces, motion and moments.
It should be motion and moments.
Not forces?
Yes.
Okay, so it's motion and moments.
Yes.
Okay, what are you expecting your Form 4s to have learned by the end of the lesson?
So by the end of the lesson, I expect my Form 4s to know how to describe friction, use the relationship F is equal to MA, then how they should know how to calculate moments, then they should know how to state the principle of moments, then define the center of mass.
Okay, sounds like such a lot of things to learn about today during the physics lesson. I think you may begin with your lesson, sir.
Thank you. So learners at home, so what we have to do now is to start by telling you why it is important that we learn about why we learn about forces or motions. So the first point is that friction force explains why it is easier to run on a dry ground than on a wet ground. Moments explain why it is easier to tighten a nut using a spanner than using fingers. Then the last one, the last importance is that objects with low center of mass are stable. So there will be new words that you are going to encounter in this particular topic. These words are friction, resultant, and moment of force. Then the last one will be center of mass. Now, we start by the topic friction. So the first fact that you have to take into account here is that friction, dear learners at home, is a force that opposes the sliding motion between two surfaces. As you can see here, we have got this pushing force and we have got this friction force here, which is acting in between this surface and underneath this object. So this friction force is opposing this pushing force. So you can see that the friction force opposes the motion of objects. So there are things that you have to pay attention to. The first thing is that if this pushing force is equal to the friction force, then the object will remain at rest. But if the object was moving, it will continue to move in a constant speed. But like it is in this particular diagram here, the pushing force is greater. You can see by the size of the arrow here, it is very big compared to this one. So if the pushing force is greater than the force of friction as it is, the object is going to accelerate forward. So the second fact that you have to pay attention to is that forces always occur in pairs. How? So if object A, this is object A, exerts a force on object B. So object A here is denoted by the downward, by this arrow which is pointing downwards, and the force that is exerting on object B is the downward force. Then what is going to happen is that object B will exert an equal, you can see by this arrow, equal but opposite force on object A. So that is what you have to pay attention to, that forces always occurs in pairs. So that's this.
Alright, so it seems like you need help with something. Would you mind if we actually take a little bit of a break?
Yes.
Alright, viewers at home, can we take a little bit of a break? We will be right back after this.
At this point, you shouldn't feel as if you do not have it. You have it for sure.
Find something you like doing.
Yeah.
Say invest in yourself.
I am your host, Tianza Lamini, and you're watching Fame Unfiltered. Good night and God bless.
To Home Study, you are still tuned into the physics lesson for the Form 4s with Mr. Mduduzi Shabangu. So you may please continue with your lesson.
Okay, thank you, dear learners at home. So the next topic that we are going to look at now is to look at the advantages of friction. So friction is a force that gives tires and our shoes grip on the ground. Now the next point is that friction force is used in most braking systems. What are the disadvantages of friction? So the first one is that friction causes moving parts of machinery to wear out. Friction force also causes loss of energy in the form of heat. How do we reduce the force of friction? One can reduce the force of friction by applying oil or grease to make the moving surfaces slippery, and one can also use roller bearings or wheels mounted between surfaces. Now, dear learners at home, now we have to look at another topic, which is resultant force and acceleration. So what is resultant force? A resultant force is a single force. So the first point is that if two unbalanced forces together, they are equal to a single force. So in this particular diagram, you can see the two forces here, the 30 and the 70 newtons, they are unbalanced, and both of them, they are acting to the right. So when you add them together, they will give us 100 newton, which is a single force. So this single force is called a resultant force. So in this particular case, this object is going to use this 100 newtons to accelerate forward to the right. Now, another point that you have to take into consideration is that if you have got two forces that are balanced, the resultant force is 0. You can see now that in the diagram you have got 80 newtons here and 80 newtons which is acting on the left. So the resultant, if you say 80 newtons minus 80, you get 0 newtons. So there is no acceleration in this particular case, but you have to pay into account that if this object it was moving, it will continue to move at a constant speed. But if it was not moving, it will remain stationary, or it will remain at rest. So this is because there is no resultant force. So the next point that we have to look into is how to calculate the resultant force. So a resultant force can cause acceleration in the same direction as the resultant force. Now, we have got, in this particular object, we have got 90 newtons, which is acting to the right, and 40 newtons, which is acting to the left. So if you say 90 minus 40, you'll get 50 newtons, which is equal to this one. This 50 newtons shown by that arrow, which means this particular object will be using these 50 newtons to accelerate to the right. So the greater the resultant force, the greater will be the acceleration. Now, the next point now, dear learners at home, we have to look at the relationship between force, mass, and acceleration, and it is given by this equation: F is equal to ma, where F stands for the resultant force in newtons, M stands for mass in kilogram, and A stands for the acceleration in meters per square second. To show you how to use this formula, I've got this question here which says calculate the acceleration of a twin cab below with the shown forces acting on it. So in this diagram, we have got our twin cab here. The motor, the engine, is producing 18,000 newtons to the right, and the total friction force, which is acting backwards to the left, it is 10,000. To calculate the acceleration here, the first thing is that you have to calculate the resultant force by subtracting this 10,000 from this. So you say 18,000 minus 10,000, you will get 8,000 newtons. The next point now is to use this relationship F is equal to ma. After that, after you have written this formula, you have to transpose, make the A the subject of the formula, where the formula after you have transposed it will be F divided by M. Then this 800 will go to the numerator, which will be the resultant force. Then you have to divide by the mass, which is the mass of the twin cab. Then the answer that you are going to get, viewers at home, it will be 8 meters per square second. Moments, that is our next topic. So viewers at home, what are moments? The moment of a force is a measure of its turning effects. Turning effects can be observed when one is opening water taps or we are opening doors. One can observe that it is easier to tighten a nut using a spanner than using our fingers. Why is it like this, viewers at home? It is because the spanner can produce a larger turning effect. So the moment of a force is calculated by the formula which says moment is equal to force multiplied by the perpendicular distance from the pivot. So in short, it is written as moment is equal to F times D. So moments, dear learners at home, can be described as being anti-clockwise or clockwise depending on the direction. You can see on this diagram here, the force is applied here, which means the spanner is going to go downwards, and this is the distance from the pivot, which is applied at 90 degrees. You can see that in this particular, the nut is going to turn in the clockwise direction. So in this particular case, we have got a clockwise direction which is the turning effect. Then now the unit for measuring the moment of a force, it is the Newton meter. The symbol for it is Nm. How can the moment of a force be increased, dear learners at home? So there are two ways that you can do. You can see here, the hand is here, the force that is applied is the same. So if the distance from the pivot to the hand is closer, you are going to get a smaller turning effect. But if you look at the same diagram now, the distance from the pivot to the hand is much longer now, but we are still applying the same force. So in this second example, we are going to get a greater moment, which means that to increase the turning effect, all that you have to do, the first thing, you have to increase the distance from the pivot. A second example, you can increase the force that you are applying rather than changing the distance. So dear learners at home, I have got here an example to show you how to calculate moment. So it says calculate the moment of a 10 Newton force about the pivot. So this is the 10 Newton force which is applied here, and the distance from there is 15 centimeter. What you are supposed to do there when you are answering, you write the formula, then you take the 10 newtons, you substitute it under F, then you have to take this 15 centimeter, you change it to meters, then you write it as 0.15 meters under that. Then when you calculate that thing, you'll find that the moment of the force is 1.5 Newton meters. The second example question there, it says explain how the moment of a force can be increased. Like you have seen in the previous slide, is that the moment of the force can be increased by using a longer spanner, that is increasing the distance from the pivot to where the force is applied. Then the second one is to increase the force that is applied. Rather than using 10 newtons, you can maybe say use 20 newtons. So the next topic here is principle of moments. What does the principle of moments state? It says that at equilibrium, the sum of clockwise moments about the pivot are equal to the sum of clockwise moments about the pivot. So in this diagram here, it is pivoted here. So what they are saying is that if this beam is at equilibrium, which means it is balanced, these moments must be equal to the clockwise moments. So how do we calculate? Also, how do we use this formula, or which formula do we use to calculate the principle of moments? We use the fact that anti-clockwise moments must be equal to the clockwise moments. Then we use, if we write it in a short form, it will be F1 D1 and F2 D2. So what you have to understand is that if this beam is at equilibrium, there will be no net effect of the body. So in this particular example, dear learners at home, I have got a question to show you how to use the principle of moment. So this one, it says calculate the size of force F below if the beam is equilibrium. So this is the F that you are supposed to use. So it is equivalent that you are looking for F1. So what you have to do, you write this formula here, which is F1 D1 is equal to F2 D2. Then you have to transpose, make F1 the subject of the formula. So when you transpose that one, the formula will look like F1 will be equal to F2 D2 over D1. After that, these 5 newtons will go in place of F2. Then this distance is go to D2. Then you have to divide by this distance, which it goes to the numerator. When you multiply this thing, dear learners at home, you'll find that F1 is 10 newtons. Now, center of mass, that will be our next topic. What is meant by center of mass? Dear learners at home, a center of mass is a fixed point within a body which the entire mass of the body can be considered to be concentrated. So in this particular example here, the center of mass, it is halfway. So the example that we're going to use, it says a meter rule of iron bar is pivoted at 20 centimeter. This is our 20 centimeter mark. It is balanced by placing a 15 Newton at 0 mark, like you can see. So it says calculate the weight of the iron bar. If you are using the concept of the center of mass, so you must understand that the center of mass is concentrated at the 50 centimeter mark. So because it is pivoted there at 20 centimeter. This is how you have to do your calculation. The first thing, you write the formula. Now, because the mass is at 50 centimeter, you have to make the F2 the subject of the formula. So it will be F1 D1 divided by D2. Then you have to substitute the values for F1 D1. So F1 will be the 15 newtons, like you can see. The distance from here to there, it will be, because the mass is hung at 0 centimeter, so the distance will be 0.2 centimeter. So here it is 20 centimeter. You have to change the 20 centimeter to meters. That's why here we have got 0.2 meters. You do the same thing for the 30 centimeter. You write this, then you'll discover that the weight of the iron bar is 10 newtons, dear learners at home. Now we have to look at the stability of objects. So we say that broad base, like you can see, the base is broad, and low center of mass objects, you can see here the mass is very close to the base, are stable. Why do we say so? We say that because if you tilt this object like it is shown here at a certain angle, like it is shown here, then when you tilt it, what happens is, this is the original center of mass. The center of mass, after tilting, it will be raised. So to check whether it is stable or not, you have to draw a vertical line from the new center of mass downward. So if the vertical line that you have drawn passes between the base, within the base OA as it is shown, then it means the object is stable. As you can see here, if you draw the vertical line, it will pass between OA. So broad base and low center of mass objects are stable. So the next point is to look at unstable objects. So if you have got a narrow base object like this one, it is narrow and it has got a high center of mass, you can see it is very high. Then let's see what happens when you tilt this object at the same angle like we have done in the previous diagram. You will find that for objects with center of mass, when you tilt them, the center of mass is lowered. So when you draw a vertical line again from the new center of mass, you will find that it passes now outside the base OA. So if this vertical line passes outside OA, it means now that object is unstable. It is going to topple over. So tall narrow base objects are less stable than broad base objects. So dear learners at home, this is what you have learned in this particular topic today. The first point was that friction is a force that opposes the sliding motion between two surfaces in contact with each other. The second point is that the moment of the force is a measure of its turning effect. So moment is calculated by the formula F is equal to F. Moment is calculated by the formula F multiplied by distance. So what you have to know is that for any body that is in equilibrium, there is no net movement of that body, and the principle of moment states that you can use this formula to calculate the moments of those bodies. So that formula is F1 D1 is equal to F2 D2. Then the last point that you have learned is that for greater stability, objects should be designed to have a broad base and a low center of mass. Thank you, viewers at home. That's the end of our lesson today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shabangu, for your lesson. We'll be seeing you soon for more physics, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
All right, okay, then. That's okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much anyway. You have a lovely day.
Okay, and so to you.
All right. Viewers at home, please do not go anywhere. My Lerato and myself will be right back after this.
Your favorite music show is back. We're bringing you the hottest music videos and live studio interviews with your favorite celebrities. We're giving you a front row seat to the latest fashion trends as well as your weekend gig guide. Join us live on social media and call in to send in your shout-outs. Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Friday at 5:30 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
Welcome back to Home Study. Unfortunately, that was the last lesson for the day. We're hoping that you had a beautiful Thursday afternoon of learning. How was your day?
My day was good. It was amazing. I enjoyed the weather. I enjoyed the lessons, the grade 0 lesson, as always. How was your day?
My day was fantastic. Thank you very much. What does Friday look like for our viewers at home?
Okay, from 2 p.m. until 2:30 p.m. we have expressive art for the grade 1s and 2s. From 2:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. we have Siswati for the grade 3s and 4s. From 3 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. we have mathematics for the grade 5s and 6s. From 3:30 p.m. until 4 p.m. we have Siswati for the Form 1s and 2s. From 4 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. we have mathematics for the Form 4s. The last lesson from 4:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. is Siswati for the Form 4 learners.
Yes, of course, that is what your day looks like, guys, back at home. And a reminder that we are live every day, Monday to Friday, on YouTube and on Facebook from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. And not to forget, you guys, to subscribe on our YouTube channel, of course. And of course, click on that bell so that you can receive any notifications of when we are live.
Now from me and the team and Nogwazi, of course, it's goodbye. See you guys tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed your day, because I'm sure we did.
Yes, we did. Have a beautiful Thursday evening. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. sharp.
Bye, guys.